One of the really nice things about LearnCube's language content is that you don't need to have seen a unit in advance in order to know what to expect. The units are all structured in the same way, so you'll be able to find the relevant section easily and quickly. If you navigate to page 2 of the PDF, you'll see an overview of what's in this particular unit. You can also roll your mouse cursor over this little information icon in the lesson materials window to get a quick summary. If you're looking for an overview of the whole curriculum, we do have some tables of contents showing which topics are covered in which units. I'll add a link to this in the video description below. Each unit is divided into an identical, easy to follow format. Starting up, vocab, grammar, reading, speaking 1, listening, speaking 2, writing, pronunciation, and review. The skills sections from reading to writing make up the core of the unit. Grammar and vocabulary are first presented as functional tools, which students need to get through the unit, and then the exercises that follow will help the student work on mastering those skills. So, let's take a look at a particular unit. Page 3 here is our Getting Started exercise with some questions to introduce the topic. After that, you'll have a vocabulary section, so you can introduce some key words and phrases from the outset. Then we have a grammar section, which starts by explaining the rules we're going to look at, followed by some exercises to put them into practice. Next up is a reading exercise, which could be text in the unit or a link to an external article, followed by some questions. There's usually a true or false or multiple choice type question, followed by some more in-depth comprehension questions. Next, you'll have a speaking exercise. There are a variety of different formats here, but they're all pretty easy to follow. Sometimes you'll just have questions or conversation prompts, other times you'll have a debate or role-playing exercise. Then we have a listening exercise. This is usually a video or it could be an audio file. We have another video about how to use those extra materials, so I'll include a link to that in the video description too. The listening exercise is followed by 2 sets of questions, one short and one longer, just like the reading exercise. Then we have another speaking exercise. And next is a writing exercise, which could be an essay, a letter, a review, or some other common format. The writing exercise will always relate to the unit's competency and might also tie into some of the grammar points covered in this unit. We've tried to keep these in a relatively generic format, so they could be easily adapted for a specific exam preparation. For example, I could use this exercise to prep for the IELTS or Cambridge exams by setting the appropriate time limit and word count. I usually ask my students to do these for homework, and then we'll go through corrections in the next class. After writing, we have a pronunciation exercise. This usually consists of a text which the student must read aloud. You can then take notes of any errors and work on problem areas with your student. If you're looking for exercises that focus on specific phonics, the Young Learner sections have that, and you can totally use these with adult students if they have a specific problem they want to work on, for example. There are plenty of tongue twisters in there which are helpful and really, really fun. Then we have a review section, which contains one grammar, vocab, and speaking exercise. Finally, we have a challenge section. These are fun little optional exercises, which you can use to encourage students to put what they've learned into action outside of the class. So that's the structure of your typical unit. Again, it is intro, vocab, grammar, reading, speaking 1, listening, speaking 2, writing, pronunciation, review, challenge. When you get used to this order and you know where everything is, you can easily skip backwards or forwards to the part that you want. We also have review units for each competency, containing an extra reading, writing, speaking, and listening exercise. You can use them as exams or just as extra resources if you feel your student needs a little more work. I'll go into more detail on those in another video. A tip on the grammar sections: I don't tend to spend much time on the rules, as my teaching style is more about getting stuck in, but I love having these in the class review so the student can go back and read them if they get stuck on their homework. Some of the grammar sections could be quite long, so I tend to skim over them if my student grasps the topic quite well. That means that I have more exercises to set when we're revising the topic in future.